Okay, Dhanashree, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, so all of you please go on mute during the presentation, and only during the quiz time, please unmute yourself if you want to answer questions. So this session is on presentation applications. So I'm going to talk about what presentations are and what presentation applications are available to you. And this is the 8th lecture in the series. We have already finished 7 lectures on various topics. Today's lecture will cover presentations and of course the presentation software. Oh, my apologies. No, I think this looks correct. So presentation applications like Microsoft PowerPoint, Google presentations, they're called Google Slides, and LibreOffice, I think they call it something else. Everybody has a different name for this. At the end of this lecture, you should be able to know what a presentation is. You should be able to know what presentation structure is. Then you need to be able to understand what slide layout is. I'm going to give Tamil translations for some of the words in the next slide. You need to be able to understand what slide design is. Then you also need to be able to understand what are the different slide data elements, meaning what is it that you can put on a slide, okay? And then we'll talk about presentation templates, and then we move on to quiz time. This is actually the simplest of the 3 big office applications software. We have talked about word processing before. We have talked about spreadsheets. Both word processing and spreadsheets have a lot of features and sometimes can be very complex to use, especially spreadsheets. Presentation is the simplest of the 3. It is very easy to use, and you get a lot of example presentations, templates, what we call them as templates, and it is very easy to start, and there's not a whole lot of text you put in it, so you'll see as we go. So Monica, you ready? You want to go over the difficult words or the new words in this presentation? Read out both the English word and Tamil translation, please.
Okay, sir. Presentation, Vilakakachi, structure, Amaipu, slide, slideu, deck, tech, layout, Talavamaipu, graphics, concise, Surkamana, summarized, Surkamaga, sophisticated, Adinavina, template, Varpuru, animation, Iyangu Padam, concept, Karutukal.
Thank you, Monica. So all of you, I have posted a screenshot of this slide in WhatsApp. So as I go through the presentation, you can keep the words, that particular screenshot in front of you, that particular photo in front of you, so you know the words and you know the meanings as I make the presentation. So what is a presentation? A presentation is some number of slides. In this particular picture here, you see each rectangle is actually one slide. Think of one slide as a page, okay? So in this particular presentation, it's a list of slides here. So I have a total of 9 slides. Think of each slide as a page. The name slide comes from how presentations were done in the past. They were not done on computers. They were actually, you literally had something called a slide and used a projector, okay? So we continue to use the word slides, but they're like pages. Each one is like a separate page by itself. And a presentation is some number of slides, some number of presentation pages, and that number of slides is, the whole thing is called a deck. So a presentation is a deck of slides. And what does it contain? It contains text and graphic information. You can see already examples here, right? Graphic means things with shapes, colors. It could be a graph, it could be circles, but all you're trying to do is provide information in different ways. The purpose of a presentation is to basically present ideas, thoughts, new concepts, your project and research data in a very concise and summarized fashion. What does concise and summarized fashion mean? For example, if I write a 1,000 page book, right? The book has 1,000 pages, and let's say it has 10 or 12 chapters. In each chapter, I cover one particular subject area or one particular topic, right? Now, if somebody asks you to give a presentation on your textbook, you're not going to read all the 1,000 pages, right? During the presentation. A presentation will be about, sometimes can be from 30 minutes to 90 minutes presentation. So when you make a presentation to other people, you are presenting for 30 minutes to 90 minutes. So if I'm presenting 1,000 page textbook, I cannot actually finish all 1,000 pages in the 90 minutes. So what I have to do is create a presentation like this. If it has 12 chapters in it, I'm going to create a minimum 12 slides and one slide per chapter per topic, right? And then on that one slide, I'm going to say in just 4 or 5 points, data points, what my topic, what my chapter in the textbook is going to be. So what a presentation essentially is it presents something, a lot of information, but it presents the key, the most important information in there in a way where on each slide you can understand that particular idea, that concept in just 5 minutes. The whole idea of presentation is you should assume each slide takes about 5 minutes of talking, right? And in those 5 minutes, you should be able to present your idea, your thoughts, your vision, right? And so with 5 minutes per slide, if you have about 10 slides, you will take about 50 minutes. 50 minutes, that is very close to 1 hour. So now now you know what a presentation is. You see basically an example here of multiple slides here. I've shown all of the slides as basically what you call as almost like thumbnails. Thumbnails are basically small pictures of the big thing, right? Now a presentation is going to have a starting title slide, which is the top left rectangle, the top left slide. You have always seen how my presentations are. The very first page always talks of has HUM, it has Pudiodor on it, it has the title of the talk, right? It is the title slide. In the title slide, we present the title, we present names of companies, businesses, organizations. We also present the name of the author. Author is the person who wrote the presentation, right? It may have other information also. Then there is also an ending slide. I do not have the end kind of slide, but my ending slide is always quiz time, right? Now, between the title slide and the quiz time slide, I have different other slides to present to you. So it depends on what presentation I'm making. Almost all of my presentations to you for digital literacy have been about an hour, and we spend about 15 to 30 minutes on practical demonstration. And for that hour, my presentation have basically had anywhere from 12 to 20 slides. So if I have a slide, some slides I actually take only 1 or 2 minutes because it's very simple that I present. So that's why I can pull it off with 20 slides. So presentation is a deck of slides. It's some number of think of slides as pages. It has a title slide. It may have an ending slide, and all of the topics, whatever you want to talk about, are covered in the slides in between. Okay. And a presentation can be anywhere from 30 minutes to 90 minutes. It could be even more, right? Somebody may have a 3-hour presentation. It doesn't have to stop at 90 minutes. But what happens is when you're presenting to an audience, like you're presenting to, let's say, a group of people, about 20 to 100 people or 200 people, after about 30-40 minutes, they start getting bored, which is why presentations are not held for too long. Now, what are the different presentation applications that you can make use of? There are both, these mobile, computer, and internet applications. The most popular one is Microsoft PowerPoint, and PowerPoint is not free. You have to pay. But PowerPoint is one of the most powerful presentation applications. It has a lot of presentation features. Now, Google Slides is also available to you. It may be available to you as a mobile app. It is also available as an internet application called Google Slides.google.com. You can go there, and it is free. I recommend that if you don't know what to use, just use Google Slides. OpenOffice also has a presentation application. So does LibreOffice. WPS Office might also have a presentation application. Then our friend Sonia pointed to us Prezi.com, Prezi.com, Prezi.com. It is also free, and you can also go there and make presentations. Then Microsoft has its internet version, Microsoft Office 365, which requires a paid subscription. Then on the Mac, you have Keynote. That's the name of their presentation application. And my favorite used to be Microsoft PowerPoint long time back. Now on Mac or Apple computers, my favorite is Keynote. Because of the templates it provides and the different features it provides. Now, we try to understand what slide layout is, okay? Slide layout is, you see, I previously talked to you about presentation structure. Structure means how many different slides I have, whether you have a title slide, whether you have a last ending slide. Slide layout means on each slide, what is the layout? Layout means, think of it as in your home, right? You have a bedroom, you have a kitchen, you have, let's say, a hall where you keep your TV. Then where your hall is, where your bedroom is, where your kitchen is, relative to each other, meaning within your house, right? That is called the layout of your house. So for a slide also, we have something called a layout. So the simplest layout is, you see on the left here, the slide will have a title on top. It is called, you can call it a header, or it is the slide title. Then top left in that slide, you can have the company or organization logo image. Logo is the an image that kind of depicts or that shows the name of the company, right? At the bottom, you can have what is called as a footer. Footer is optional. Optional meaning you can have it or you don't have to have it. The footer can have the number of the slide. If you have 20 slides, they can start with number 1, number 2, number 3, and so on. Some of them prefer to have a date on the slide, date and timestamp. If I created a slide today, I would put today's date. If I presented it, or let's say I'm presenting it tomorrow, I may put it tomorrow's slide, tomorrow's date. And then you can have some other information in there. And the simplest thing is, I have a text box. You can see there's a border on the text box, and my slide data, all the points that I want to say, can go inside that text box. This is one of the simplest slide layouts. It has a slide title, it has a slide text box, It has an optional footer, maybe no footer at all, or it has an optional company logo image left or top left, right? Now on the right side, you see a lot of different slide layouts. So we will come to templates later. Anytime you use an example presentation that somebody else already created, then you actually get a lot of different slide layout options. So let's start with basically there are 1, 2, 3, and 15 slides here. In the 15 slides, the top left slide is the presentation or the title slide, right? And the bottom left is a blank slide, bottom right is a blank slide, which is the ending slide. Now, the presentation of the title slide, which is top left, is very simple. It just has a title box, and at the bottom, it has the name of the author. So that is the layout of that particular slide. Now look at the slide which is bottom left with 3 pictures on it, and the caption there is photo -3 up, right? That particular slide, its layout has 3 images, 1 big image on the left and 2 smaller images on the right. That how that whole thing is placed on the slide, that is called the slide layout. You can have different slide layouts. You can have 2 text boxes. You can have 3 text boxes. You can have 1 text box and 1 image. How this is placed on the slide is called slide layout. So slide layout is essentially the placement of the title, any images, and text boxes or other graphics on it. Where you place it, how you place it, that is slide layout. Now, what is slide design? Slide design is about slide aesthetics. Aesthetics means how does it look to you? How does it look to your eyes? What kind of colors you use? What kind of shapes you use, right? You could use, in the left, they have used some very nice ways of rectangles, right? One rectangle box with the lady with a nice blue and pink background. They have another transparent rectangle box with a border in front, right? How you use these different geometric shapes and colors, and what kind of font you use. Look at the font for the business presentation on the right. They have used rounded font for the text. Font is the shape of the text, right? It has used rounded font. So rounded font has more. It is unusual for a business presentation. People use rounded fonts mostly for artistic things, but it is okay as an example here. Sharp fonts, sharp edges, those are all you will see in more business presentations. So these 2 are examples of slide design. So what is slide design? Slide design is your use of graphical elements, use of color, use of geometric shapes, how you use it to actually present your information, how you make it elegant, beautiful, right? How you make it attractive, how you make people remember your slide, right? They have to remember your slide, they have to remember your idea, your concept, your vision. So that's the whole idea behind slide design. Any questions so far? So as with all presentations, if you do have a question, you can always unmute yourself and ask a question. If you ask in Tamil, somebody here is going to translate it into English, and then I will answer your question. Now, what are slide data elements? So in your slide, you can have, you can present your data or your information a lot of different ways. Some of these ways we saw in word processing, like the table. We also saw the table in spreadsheets. Spreadsheets are all about tables, right? Then we saw a chart, how to make a pie chart in spreadsheets. You can put a chart in a presentation because it is also presenting information in a very, very, in a way where people can understand it easily, right? You can have text boxes like what I've seen on the left, right? So you can have a text box, top left, a text box without a border. Below that, you see there's a text box with a border, right? Then there's another text box there where I not only have a border, but I've used bullets. Bullets are points, and they have basically a dot or a square. That bullet is nothing but when you have a list of points to state text points in text, then you use bullets. So bullet is used for a list. So the shape of the bullet can be a circle, a dot, a square. You can use numbers. We call them lettered bullets or numbered bullets, or you can also have other cute shapes like different kinds of things. Even you can use the shape of spade or diamond or anything. Now, for table, we are already very familiar. Presentations allow you to insert your own, create tables, or you can always copy and paste tables from spreadsheets. You can copy paste data elements from your word processing documents and your spreadsheets onto presentations. So presentation is a summary of what you have already done before, or some new ideas. So if whatever you have done before is a word processing document, maybe like a 100-page document or a 100-page research report, or it could be a spreadsheet containing 5 to 10 sheets with a lot of accounting or tax data or project data. You can always borrow from there for your presentation. Now, you can also have images, pictures in your slide. You can insert images. You can always insert images from your local folder on your mobile phone or your computer folder. You can also insert images from your photo gallery on your mobile phone. If you have a photo gallery in your computer, you can insert images from there. You can insert videos. You can also insert audio media. So presentation is very, very sophisticated. It allows you to insert different kinds of things, audio, video, photographs. The next important thing about presentations is being able to create graphic diagrams. You have seen this diagram in one of the first few lectures in this digital literacy program. This is basically a very simple architectural diagram of a computer, right? We know that the lowest layer is hardware, operating, then you have operating system software, and then you have application software. How did I create this diagram? I created this diagram. Today, if possible, during the practical demonstration section, I'll show you how to create some of this thing. Some of these, you can create these by actually presentation software gives you a lot of geometric shapes. So I've used rectangular shapes with rounded corners, right? And then I filled some color in it. So all of these presentation software, they give you geometric shapes. You can also fill color. You can change the size of the different geometric shapes once you have actually inserted them. And then you can move it around, and inside the shapes you can add text boxes. Then you can add images inside the geometric shapes, and so you can create architectural diagrams like this. So that is also possible with presentations. So you can convey your information in a variety of different ways. Now there are different ways you can mix and match things. For example, look here. I have mixed square boxes. I have mixed them with images like photos on the left, right? I mixed it. Then I have added symbols. There are symbols that presentations provide. This is the symbol of a woman in purple, right in the middle. You can borrow symbols from from the presentation software. It gives you a lot of cute symbols. In some of the presentation software, they're called clip art, clip, C-L-I-P, art. In some places, they're just called symbols. Clip art is what is used for, I think, Microsoft PowerPoint as well as in OpenOffice. Clip art, you can find a lot of clip art images even on the internet. You can always copy something from the internet and use it in your presentation if you don't find it in the application itself. So I've also used, for example, I've used a combination of the HUM logo. I've used it inside the text box. I've used arrows. You can use arrows. That's also. So all I wanted to do was convey some kind of information, and I used different elements to put it together to convey my information. So now there are lot more sophisticated things you can do in presentation applications. Some of the more powerful ones, like Microsoft PowerPoint, allow something called animation. Animation is being able to have on the same slide multiple versions of the slide or multiple layers of different data elements that come on top of each other. Okay, so when you actually use one of the arrow keys to step through it, it will look like animation. So that is also possible. I'm not going to show you how to do animation in this thing because people, I have used animation maybe 10-15 years ago. Some people use animation. Animation is important when you have a very a slide with a lot of information on it, but you do not want to present all the information at the same time. You want to present it little by little, and keep adding to it. That is when you use animation. But people, you have different ideas about how much information you should put on a slide. A lot of people like very little information and very brief. But there are other people, especially in science research, or you may want to use animation to present very dense information. And when you are presenting your presentation, all you have to do is most applications have a play option, play button, or a view option, a menu option on top. You can either use the play or the menu. Play does a slideshow meaning it will walk you through slide by slide. You can just use the arrow keys or the space bar to step through slides. In some applications it is called slideshow, in some applications it's called play. Now we come to templates. Templates are, like you know from spreadsheets and word processing, they are nothing but examples of that particular kind of document. So presentation templates also exist. You can have presentation templates in Google Slides. You can have presentation templates for Microsoft PowerPoint. You can have presentation templates for my OpenOffice, LibreOffice. All you have to do is look for them on the internet. Some things like Google Slides will present you some templates when you get into Google Slides. Something like Microsoft PowerPoint, they will not give you present templates for free. You have to pay. You can always go to templates.office.com, which is a Microsoft website, and there are a lot of templates there, some very beautiful templates. Now, this is the pictures here show some of the Microsoft PowerPoint templates that were available there. For example, in the top picture, you see there is one template just for architecture. Anybody who is an architect who wants to make an architecture presentation can use the architecture template. Anybody who likes to travel, who likes to go into the mountains, go into the forest, go into nature, and they want to make a presentation of their nature visit, right, or their mountaineering visit, they can use the outdoor presentation template, which is in the bottom. bottom left, right? So there are different kinds of presentations that are templates available. I will show you in Google Slides how to use templates and how to start off with the template. Like I mentioned in previous lectures, the best way to start a document, either in word processing or spreadsheet or presentation, is to always start with a template, right? Start with a template and make changes to the template. That is easy. Once you know once you know a lot about a particular application software like presentation or word processing, then you can create your own template, you can create your own slide layout, you can create your own slide design. What I do is I borrow from templates that Keynote application has on Apple computers. I borrow from them and I modify it to suit my need. But I don't create my own template. But companies, big companies, like to have uniform templates for their company presentations. So big companies may create templates. The HR, human resources department, may create templates. The research department may create their own templates and they share it, and everybody uses the same template, right? Because they want uniformity, they want the company logo, they want copyright information, they want the year, they want the slide number. So they create their own templates. Now we are on to quiz time. Monica, you're ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, take it away. Thank you, Monica.
What are
Hang on, Monica. So thank you, Monica, for offering to lead quiz time today. Like in previous lectures, you're going to read the English question first, then you're going to read the Tamil question, and then you're going to wait for somebody to answer. Once they answer, you're going to repeat their answer. After that, you go to the next question. Okay? Take it away.
Sir. What are presentations? விளக்க காட்சிகள் என்ன?
Presentation is a number of slides with graphic information.
What do you use it for, Shilpa? What do you use presentations for?
Any present ideas are
correct. Now see, I'm using a presentation to present the lecture, right? All of the ideas about presentation, I'm making a presentation on presentations itself, right? So all the information relating to my lecture, I use a presentation to make it. So a presentation is used to present ideas, thoughts, concepts, anything to convey information from one person to a lot of other people, right? And it is very brief. It is not like a 1,000-page textbook. It is not like spreadsheets where you have a lot of tables and a lot of numbers. Here, the whole idea is thoughts and ideas. Next question, Monica.
Second question. What are example presentation application? எடுத்துக்காட்டு விளக்கக்காட்சி பயன்பாடுகள் என்ன?
MS PowerPoint, Google Slides.
Very good. And
LibreOffice.
Very good. Very good. Next question, Monica. Shilpa, you may have
question.
Yeah.
Next question.
Third question. Where is slide layout? Slide தளவமைப்பு என்றால் என்ன?
Actually, my mistake. I made a mistake with copy paste of questions. It should be what is slide layout. What is slide layout?
What is
Slide
slide
layout.
layout?
Slide layout is about the structure of the slides.
It is about the structure inside a
Of
slide.
the slide, inside slides.
Yes. Meaning how
Example,
you,
title,
yes. Meaning
title,
how you,
logo.
go ahead, sorry. Is that Kali?
Example, title, logo, content.
Okay. Is that Kali?
Sir, yes, sir.
Kali speaking. Okay. Very good. Very good. Good answer. So to summarize what Kali said, slide layout is about, see, every presentation has a structure. The broad structure is you have a title slide, you have an ending slide, and you have some number of slides in between. If you're doing like a 1 hour presentation, you may have about 15 slides, right? If you're doing a 30-minute presentation, you may only have 5 slides. Now each slide will present one idea, one thought. Okay. Now within the slide, where to place the text box, where to place the image, where to place the title. That is called slide layout. Next question, Monica.
Fourth question. What is slide design? Slide வடிவமைப்பு என்றால் என்ன?
Use of color, geometrical shapes, graphic elements.
Correct. Correct. Slide design is basically within a slide, how you use color, what background you use. Every slide can have a different background. My background for all my slides is black, right? You can have a white background, you can have a blue background, you can have a blue on one side, pink on another side, right? You can have different background, different colors, you can have different shapes. How you use the shapes, how you use the colors, how you use what font you use for text, that whole thing is called slide design. So you can have a particular design for the title slide. Then between topics, right? Let's say you are covering 12 chapters, and for each chapter you have 3 slides. Before the start of the 3 slides per chapter, you can have a chapter slide, right? And for the chapter slide, you can have a separate design. So the design you create for the individual slides, the title slide, they are called slide design. It's basically the way you use aesthetics, the way you use colors, shapes, images. Next question, Monica.
Fifth question. What are all the different data elements you can use in a slide? ஸ்லைடில் நீங்கள் பயன்படுத்தக்கூடிய அனைத்து வெவ்வேறு தரவுக்கூறுகள் யாவை?
Text boxes, tables or charts.
Very good.
Images, videos, audios.
Very good. What else?
Bullets.
Bullets. Very good. You can create your own architecture diagrams, functional diagrams, any graphic diagram, right? You can use the geometric shapes, squares, circles, rounded boxes. You can create your own diagrams. You can do that also.
Audios, videos, media.
Correct. Very correct. Very correct. Excellent. So very good. Next question, Monica.
Sixth question. What is the best way to start working on presentation? விளக்க காட்சியில் பணியாற்றத் தொடங்க சிறந்த வழி எது?
Slide layout.
The best way to start working on a presentation is using a template.
Oh.
For any document, right? When you are a beginner means you are learning how to use the application software, when you are a beginner for an application software, always use examples. Use example templates. Templates are examples of a particular kind of document, right? So the best way to start working on, remember for word processing, we said for resume, use a resume template, right? Similarly, for presentation, if you're doing a presentation on your travel, let's say you went from Ambattur to Vellore, and in Vellore you went to some forest, you went with friends, then if you want to make a presentation on that, you would use a template about travel that somebody else created, and you add your images. Similarly, if you want to make a presentation on lectures, you can use my template, right? So that concludes quiz time and the presentation side of today's lecture, and we want a practical demonstration. Thank you very much, Monica, for leading quiz time. A big round of applause to Monica. So now I'm going to share Google Slides. So in your mobile phone, you should be able to download Google Slides app. Even if you try to go to slides.google.com, I think your phone might have you download the Google Slides app. So here I'm on a desktop computer, and I'm actually on the slides.google.com website. And the slides.google.com website is taking me to the website docs.google.com/presentation. It's the same thing. So the way we saw with how spreadsheets work is same thing here. In order to start slides, there's a way to start a new presentation. You can start a new presentation with a blank presentation, which is on the left side here. And on the right side, you have different templates that Google Slides has provided. So one template is your big idea, okay? It's called making presentations that stick. So I'm going to click on that, and that is going to be the beginning of my presentation. So I have picked this template, and now I have a template which is an example, and I want to make changes. Now you have to first understand all these different things that come up when you open a Slides app or a Microsoft PowerPoint app. It gives you a view. A view is how it looks, right? So this view here has the main slide that you are working on right in the middle, which is the very big rectangular box. Then on the left side here, you see a list of slides that are there in the template, which is right now your presentation. So there's the slide 1 on top, slide 2, slide 3, slide 4, slide 5, right? So as I click on each of those, that particular slide will be my main slide to work on. So this particular pane on, it's called a pane, P-A-N-E. This pane on the left is called a navigation pane. Navigation means I can actually, in English, the word navigate is used, N-A-V-I-G-A-T-E. You can do Google translation after the presentation. Navigation means how to move around. How to move around your own presentation. If you have 25 slides, you use the navigation pane to move around your own 25 slides. The 25 slide list will actually show on the left side, and you can actually scroll up and scroll down, which you probably can see me scrolling here, right? So if I go all the way to the bottom, this one has 21 slides. And then if I scroll to the top, I come to the title slide. Now, the many presentation application software have a view menu option on top. If you click on the view menu, it gives you a few different ways to view. There's a grid view. Okay, grid view, we'll go to the grid view. This is the grid view, meaning you see all the slides at the same time, right? And I can scroll up and scroll down. This is my grid view. If I suddenly want to go to the last slide, or if I want to delete 3-4 slides, it is easier to do it in a grid view. Let's say I want to delete these 2 slides here. Okay, maybe I'll just want to delete this one. Let's see if I want to delete 2 slides, whether it's possible. No, that's not possible. If I want to delete slide 2, which says selling your idea, I just click on it. Then on a desktop or laptop computer, you would use your right click, mouse click, but on a mouse you would do something a little different. Then I get a pull down menu and I can delete it. See, I deleted a slide, right? To delete that slide, I went to the grid menu. Now I want grid view. Now I want to go back to the previous one. Let's see if I'll do master. Okay, this is the master slide, and this is a different kind of view. Let me see if this is if I click present, that means it starts the slideshow. If I press the key escape ESC, I go back to this view. Okay, good. I'm back to the view that I wanted. Now you have to understand views, and now you have to understand slide title. Now see, there are on the right side, it gives you a few different title options. Okay, you can always choose different slide title options. I'm going to stick to this option. So I'm going to change the title. This is HUM Lecture 8 on presentations, right? And this at the bottom slide title, the author name, we will put Monica is the leader today, so we'll make her the author, right? And then I'm done with my title slide. I change the title, I change the author. I don't care for a date. So next I go to my next slide. It says intro. See, you see the text box. The moment you click on it, the text box becomes visible. Now I can change the size of the text box. I can make it bigger. I can make it smaller, right? If I make it smaller, all the text goes below the slide. Anything below the slide will not appear in your slideshow. So you have to make sure all of the text is visible. Now, this one says, I'm going to change the text. Let's talk about presentations today. And see, it uses very nice bullets. The bullets use arrows, right? You can always have, let's say I have selected this text box here, and I want to see how to let's see. On the right side here, you may have some options for how to work on text. See, each presentation software is slightly different in how they present things to you. Let me see. Okay. See, bullets, I went to the bullet section. I can change the bullets now. I can change it to this. Or I can change the bullets to something different. I can make it like this. I have changed the bullets. Now look at the design, right? Each bulleted point, unexpected. This is point 1 heading. Point 1. This is point 2. See how they have used different size of font, different size of the text for the main point. This is the text that describes the point itself. What is a point here? A point is nothing but an idea or a heading. So it's an idea or a heading. So what we have done here, we have worked on the text box, we have worked on bullets, we have worked on how to, I can always change this to a different color. I go to the text color box, I change it to blue. I make all my headings here, say blue. So I've changed the slide design, right? My slide design for the intro slide is different. So this is my intro slide. I changed, I don't like numbers and the word intro. I will say introduction. See, I also changed the title of the slide, right? Now there is an image here. This image shows that you can stick things, and I don't like this image. So I'm going to change it, right? I removed that image. Now I want to insert my own image. I'm going to the insert menu and I'm going to say insert upload from computer. So it takes me to my desktop. Okay. On my desktop, there are some pictures. Let's see what the screenshot is. Okay, see, I inserted an image. This is the image of basically a bunch of slides from my presentation, right? So I can actually insert it here like this if I want. I should not cover the text. Now let's see how it's going to look in our slideshow. I'll say present. See how this is how it is going to show in the slideshow. I press escape, so I go back to edit mode, right? Now I go to the next slide. In the next slide, we will do something different. We will call, what we will do is we'll use the same title like here. I copy this title box and I copy it here. Okay, this is, let's call it a graphical diagram slide. This is the title. Now this title, the font size is too small, so I'm going to increase the font size, make it pretty big, right? And then I want it in bold. I also want to change the color. So this is going to be my title. Now what I want to do is I want to delete everything here. I'm going to select everything, delete it, and we are going to do graphical diagrams here. Let's see where the shapes are. So here are the shapes. So I want to use, what I do is how to create a shape. What you would do is select the shape you want. Let's say I want to do circle. Okay, I have selected circle. I have to create my circle. I go to one particular place on the slide, do left click on the mouse, hold the button down, then drag it, and that creates my circle. Now the circle I want to fill something different. So let's see, where are the, okay, the color, I want to fill it with yellow. Then I want the border to be different. So let's see, how do I change the border? Okay. Google Slides has It'll take me some time to figure out where the border for the shapes are. But I know very well in OpenOffice and Keynote and Microsoft PowerPoint. So we'll not worry about the border right now. Let's pretend this circle stays there. We are going to just use colors. So this is my graphical diagram. First is I have copied the square, and now I've created another square, and this square has a different color. And inside the square, I want to insert a text, so I double click. If I double click, I'm able to create a text here. So this is my architecture diagram bottom layer, right? I double click on the box on top, architecture diagram top layer. Now I want to center that particular thing. So there's a way to center. I go to this centering left right justification option up here. I say center. Now I also want it in bold. So I click on bold, right? So I did that thing. Now I want to use an arrow and say, I want to point to the layer on top. Again, I click and drag, create my arrow. I'm going to talk about this layer in this particular document. Okay. So now I also want to insert a text box. So go to the menu on top here. There's something that says it shows T. T is used for text box, and then I click on it, and then if I click on the slide, that's where my text box will come. I am going to talk about architecture diagram top layer in this slide, right? And now because I have a gray background, it's not showing up with black font. So I will change the font to white. And I'll also make that bold so that way I can see it more clearly. I'll resize the text box. I'll center it correctly. Okay. So you can see now how I have started with a template. I've changed the title slide. I've changed the second slide, which is this slide. I've inserted an image. I've changed the text box. I've changed my idea, heading, colors. I can also change font here. If I want, go here, change the font. This font says it's a railway font, and I can use an impact font. See, you can change the font. We have also inserted an image here, and then we went here, we created a graphical diagram, right? We inserted shapes, different shapes here. You can also insert videos, and to insert, you go to the insert menu. Then if you want to format a text box, if you want to change the format, you can go to format, a text. You can do strike through, which means you're striking through all of it. If you want to underline, you can go to format, text, and underline. You can do all sorts of things. Now I want to undo the strike through. Okay, so done. Now in Google Slides, it mostly automatically saves it for you. You don't have to save it. But let's say you want to email it to somebody now. I'm going to go to the file menu, and I'm going to look for sharing. Okay, there's an email option. Email this file. I want to share it with somebody. So I want to share it with myself. SGR4 humindia@gmail.com. And it is already attached. And this is okay, it is ready to send. I'll send the presentation I just created to myself, to my Gmail email account. Okay, so I'm done. I'm done with the presentation. I've shared via email. You can always share it via Google Drive. Google Slides works very well with Google Drive. So now how do you go back and look at all the presentations you've created? You go to the top left, which is the home for slides. You click on the home for slides, and now you see in the bottom, this is the new presentation that we have created. It says HUM Lecture 8 presentations. So if you click on that, you go back into the presentation. If you want to go back to your home, you again go to the top left, click on it, and you go to your home. So this is the way you create presentations. So any questions, students?